Hello and welcome to the Cricket Culis. Today we're going to be reviewing a game called Tainted Grail Conquest. Now, this game has been developed by Awakened Realms Digital. It's currently on the PlayStation, the PC, and the Xbox, and will set you back around $24.99. Now, this was originally a PlayStation console exclusive, and it's recently popped onto Xbox and onto Game Pass as well. And is basically a deck building turn-based RPG. Now, I picked this game up not really knowing what to expect at all. Started playing a game and thoroughly enjoyed myself. Basically, you take on this role. You get to build your character at the beginning. You can change what they look like, change their gender, that sort of thing. And you pop into this world. And very quickly, you're told that this is a game designed to be replayed. And the more you replay the game, the more you kind of open, unlock, and kind of understand the world that you're in. Now, this goes for quests as well. It's very interesting. So you pick up quests as you go through this game. And those quests you may not be able to finish in your current playthrough. You may have to literally complete the game, reload it, do it again, run into these strangers, out in the wasteland once again, and then finally be able to complete these quests. So it's not really played like RPGs that we've played before. It's a very unique indie style of RPG, and one that I thoroughly enjoyed. Now, when you either die, your run is ended for whatever reason, you run out of health and you die, or you complete your playthrough completely, at the end of it, you'll be given kind of like a countdown of your big achievements, what you managed to do, the awards you've unlocked, if you've even unlocked any extra different classes, which brings me to another thing. This game has multiple classes for you to choose in your playthrough. However, you have to unlock those different classes, and the only way you can unlock them is by playing again. So when you play a game or a playthrough of this game, depending on how well you've done, you may or may not unlock a brand new class to choose in your next run, which is quite cool. This game definitely has things that make me want to play it again. For instance, you can master a class and you can acquire passive abilities with different classes, and then when you kind of play them again, you've still got those passive abilities. So it's a very interesting game. It gives you lots of different incentives to want to keep retrying the game, getting better at the certain classes, mastering your class, or just repeating the game to finally complete the different quests within the game. For instance, you'll see on screen I have a wolf companion with me. Now, I actually have this wolf companion because it was part of a quest that I started in a playthrough before this one. And I ended up completing the quest in this playthrough, earning the companion of the wolf. And now he battles for me, within my game as I want. I can choose to call him. I don't have to have him. But it was a really nice touch and something that I thought was a little bit unexpected. The actual combat itself is really interesting as well. So as you level up and play through the game, you will acquire brand new cards to add to your deck. And it's this deck that you kind of draw from at the beginning of the game. You get a certain number of energy points. You spend those energy points on the different cards. As you can see, that card costs 1 energy, other cards cost 2 energy or even 3 energy, and then you have to end your turn to allow the AI to have their turn, and then you then can have another turn reloaded with X amount of energy. The combat itself is actually a lot more deeper than I thought it was when I very first started playing the game. You play as like a warrior. You have basic attack and defend, or attack and block kind of deals. Just then you saw me playing as a summoner, so it's kind of different. You don't really block attacks. You have like a magical shield of protection that you kind of cast on yourself. But ultimately, as you play through the game, you'll find that materials are very, very rare in the game. Therefore, if you suffer serious injuries, getting that health back can ultimately what causes you to end your playthrough, because it's really hard sometimes to get that health back. So on top of everything else this game has to offer, it has kind of like a survival management, inventory management type of style to it as well, which is really interesting. This game is also fully voice acted. There's a lot of people you'll meet. You'll meet a lot of strangers in the wasteland. Every single one of them will have some kind of storyline for you to follow, and the voice acting is actually pretty good. It's not the best in some places, it's a little bit cheap, but for me it was perfectly adequate. It got me into the story, it got me wanting more as well, which was quite cool. And some of the stories that you end up listening to are just completely bizarre. They're so bizarre that they make you want to keep listening and keep finding out the next part of this story in the next playthrough more often than enough.
When she sees the ghost standing behind you, she immediately starts screaming.
Gunner, you worthless scum! You disgusting, lazy bastard! How dare you leave me, you rotten!
Shut up.
The woman.
As I said, personally, I was quite impressed with the way the voice acting was done in this game. I'm so glad that they actually included the voice acting in this game, because for me, it really vamped up just how worthwhile this game is playing. And it adds to the replayability of it as well, because you're constantly trying to find out, the next part of the story, as I just said. And if this had just been text-based, it would have lost a huge extra point. But for me, this game is a solid 8 out of 10. I think at $24.99, considering the amount of replayability this game has, it's absolutely worthwhile. I believe I'm on my 6th playthrough, possibly. I haven't quite completed this game yet. I've got an awful lot of achievements. I've unlocked most of the different classes. But it's still a lot for me to go back into this game, and I think that I am going to be diving back in this game as well, trying to complete it, because it's one that I've thoroughly enjoyed. It's an RPG that took me by complete surprise. The graphics aren't great. I think that, if this game had more money thrown at it, it could have looked absolutely fantastic and added to the game even more. But what's here is enough to be a good, solid RPG. One of those games that you can kind of just pick up and put down and play when and if you've got the time. You don't have to dedicate hours upon hours to this game, which again is kind of beneficial and, I think a positive to this game too. But let me know down in the comments, guys, if this is a game that you have played before. Have you heard about it before, or is it one that you're going to look at now after seeing this review? And of course, if you have stuck to the end of the review, a big thank you to you. Don't forget to comment Red Banana down below, just confuse all those people that didn't stick to the end of the video, or simply new to the channel as well. And of course, if you did enjoy this video, don't forget to hit that like button and of course subscribe to the channel. It is one of the best ways you can help out the channel, help it grow with the whole YouTube analytics and all that jazz. But until next time, guys, I've been a monk, we've been a Critically Clueless, and I'll see you in the next video real soon. Until then, take it easy and happy gaming.